a bit of a mantra to be productive. You know, spend your time being productive.
So joining me on the line today, I've got Damien Lacey from OE Partners. Welcome to the call, Damien.
Thanks for having me, David. Great to be here.
Maybe give us a bit of background about OE Partners and what you do.
Sure. So OE stands for Operational Excellence. We work with Australian businesses to help improve their productivity, streamline their operations, that sort of thing. And we do this by helping businesses primarily through the application of lean thinking and lean work practices. My background and most of the team's background are from the automotive industry, where a lot of these tools and thinking are pretty commonplace. And so we're helping businesses bridge the gap through to apply those to their operations.
So ironically, I suppose it's a pretty good time for people to be thinking about their streamlining of their processes while they're in lockdown mode. I mean, you and I are in Melbourne, where we've just gone through a 5-week lockdown, and we've just been told it's extending. So
that's it.
The light at the end of the tunnel seems to be moving away.
That's right. That's right. And definitely, there's a few categories, there's a few camps, if you like, out there in the business world in terms of what their next step should be. Definitely, there are a bunch of people who are strategically taking the current situation as an opportunity to double down on how they run their business. The day-to-day might have dropped off, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Let me ask you what you're doing to navigate the current sort of market.
Yeah, look, COVID's definitely had an impact, and the same with a lot of businesses. And so what we're doing is, well, first and foremost, looking at our existing clients, the ones that are really looking to take the current situation as an opportunity to improve their processes, really making sure that they're getting the best value that they can get from us. And then secondly, looking at our new services, new delivery, new training courses, new consulting packages, stuff that would have normally, let's be honest, taken 12, 18 months to get done. We're able to now, with the modern drop in business activity, we're able to get some of that stuff done. Yeah,
fantastic. So tell me about the opportunities you see in the marketplace right now.
Well, look, there are, the economy has dipped. What is it, 7% or so? But it's, there's still another 93% out there. The economy in an entirety hasn't stopped, and so it's really about looking at those industries where there is a lot of activity. So, for example, we're working with some construction companies which are still moving forward, food manufacturers who are essential and still moving forward. And there's pockets in there. Breweries, craft breweries, they're moving ahead strongly.
I was going to say, breweries and wine companies are doing really well at the moment, aren't they?
You know what? They are. They're doing fantastic. And mask manufacturers, and there are businesses related to construction. So window supplies, things like that. There are definitely pockets. There's more than pockets. There's definitely areas of the business, the economy, which are still moving forward, and it's about engaging in those areas as best you can.
Yeah, I suppose anyone who's in logistics of delivery, because home delivery's sort of gone through the roof. I mean, the people delivering stuff aren't even driving delivery trucks anymore. They're renting Hertz rent-a-cars and even Uber drivers just to deliver stuff because they can't get it out there quick enough.
That's right. That's exactly right. And look, we've been forced to work in ways that we would never have considered, delivering our services remotely via Zoom, via phone. But what do you know, when you're forced to pivot and adapt, you figure out ways to get things done and to be effective in those environments as well.
So tell me about your priorities right now in your business.
Yeah, look, it's really about, as I said, developing those services that had been in the back of our minds or on a whiteboard, and bringing those to fruition, better proceduralizing the business, so that regardless of who the consultant is going in to deliver the work, it'll be a great outcome and a consistent outcome regardless.
Yeah.
And sort of capturing best practice. And then, marketing. So that when the clouds part, which they will, we're in a bit of a lull right now, especially after an announcement yesterday. But when the clouds part, I am optimistic that we will be in a strong position, because it's not just us; it's we're all going through it.
Yeah. So let me ask you on a personal note, what have you learned personally as a result of this sort of experience?
Sure. I think it really has reinforced a bit of a mantra to be productive. Spend your time being productive, because there's an enormous amount of opportunity to get caught up in dialogue and not empty conversations, but unproductive combinations about things that we can't control. We could sit here and have a deep and meaningful conversation about all sorts of things well out of our direct control. And so, there's a bit of that. I mean, you do need to meet people in that space and communicate about it, but at the same time, you're much better off, and I am myself much better off spending the time doing stuff and getting stuff done, so that when things do get better, we're in a strong spot.
It's almost a test of your ability to sort of stay true with all the noise and the sort of banter that's going on in the marketplace, that's forcing them to focus on what's most important to them.
That's right. And just get things done. Nothing bad will come from that.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear that line, don't you? That you don't need to go into business to go broke. I can do that sitting at home. I go, yeah, okay, you can. That's true, but you're not going to grow a great business sitting at home. That option you're going to close off to yourself. So, just staying focused and getting stuff done.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the most powerful things about being a business owner is you actually get to choose your own adventure. So you can choose what you do and what you focus on. And like the market's full of opportunity right now as well as pitfalls, right? So there's always sort of a balance of both sides going on. It's just what you focus on.
That's exactly right.
So let me ask you on a bigger note, you've been in business for a while. What's the best piece of business advice you've ever received?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I've had a few mentors, predominantly look from my Toyota days. Like I spent a few years in Japan as well, and look, more life advice rather than business advice. Just getting really good at your craft is probably the best bit of advice. I remember getting sent over to Japan in charge of new parts on the vehicle, struggling with the language, struggling with the culture. And my boss at the time just said, don't worry about language, don't worry about those sorts of things, just get good at what you know, get good at your technical stuff, know your stuff. That'll overcome just about any hurdle you'll encounter.
Yeah, it's almost like I used to sell technology to Toyota many years ago in my previous life, and one of the things that used to throw me is their culture, the Japanese culture of Kaizen.
Yes, that's it.
So in the contract, like we'd be a supplier, the bottom line would be every year you will reduce your costs by 5%. And it was like, huh?
What's the problem with that? You're going to get better, aren't you? So
that was the assumption, right? And it sort of like didn't make sense because most people put their prices up every year because of the cost of living and
inflation.
The expenses, right? So
it
was a fantastic philosophy, and I didn't realize how important it was until they run awards every year, and they recognise the people that provide this level of compliance. So for them, it's a philosophy rather than just a statement.
Absolutely, yeah. It's an expectation, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it. I talk about it all the time now. So let me ask you: do you read books, or is there anyone you follow that you sort of would consider your favourite author or your favourite book at the moment?
I do read books, a pretty wide range of topics, and I always struggle with those. What's my favourite type question? I mean, a book that I read recently that made an impact. Was The Rise of Modern China by Emmanuel, I don't know how to pronounce his name, it's HSU. Just a really good, comprehensive history. I'm a bit of a history buff, and he writes in such an engaging way. It's an absolute page turner. It gives you a really good insight into the recent history, so the last couple of 100 years of China, and just, you know, where they're positioned right now. Makes a lot of makes things make a lot more sense after reading that book.
Right, because it is a terrifying thing to a lot of people, the rise of China, isn't it? The whole communism.
It is. It is, but you know, like a lot of things, if you're only looking at headlines as your source of understanding, then you know you get a fairly coloured view. Yeah,
very good. Look, one last question for you, Damien. What advice would you give to someone in business right now?
You know, take the opportunity. You know, take the opportunity to spend time that, you know, if you've got time to spend it on, you know, sharpening the sword. Just, you know, improve your business, improve your processes, and stay productive.
Fantastic, Damien. Thanks so much for your time today. Enjoy the.
No worries, a pleasure. Great, thanks very much, Dave.
Cheers.
Cheers.